Good morning, Mister.
Thank you. So we start in 1 minute, okay, guys? Just wait for me a little. Okay, we start. Please don't forget to have a word with you guys because we are going to continue working on page number 27. Okay, just in 1 minute. Yes, we start. Thank you so much. Let's go back here. Okay, guys. So remember yesterday, we practiced a little quizzes of comparatives and superlatives. Okay. 2 and 3 of page number 30. Remember, these are the grammar topics that you have in unit number 3. Okay. So let's go, before we start with the modifier topic, let's go to the student book just a second so you can see some points that maybe, well, unfortunately you don't have the student book, so you can see, okay? So is this, I want someone to read this first. Can you read in this case, for example, this case could be, let's have a chance, let's see someone who answers. I don't know, what could it be then? Okay, let's ask to Mr. Chang. Can you read what you have on the screen, Mr.? Okay, well, Mr. Uria, can you read what you have on the screen?
We can also make comparisons with not as monkeys aren't as lazy as sloths. We use as to show that things are the same. We also use it in idiomatic expression. Planting new trees is important as saving old new ones. Get as fit as a fiddle. We use not much, a lot of, and a bit to specify bigger and smaller difference in comparative. A bit bigger, a lot nicer, a bit more expensive.
A bit more expensive. Okay, guys. The ideology, the comparative with us, it's pretty easy. Okay, it's just another way to compare. So how is the structure of this? We have as, in the middle, we have an adjective which doesn't have changes. Okay, so monkeys aren't as lazy as sloth. Los monos no son tan vagos o etcétera como los perezosos. Okay, no son tan como, esa es la idea de as, etcétera, etcétera, as. Okay, no son tan, no es tan como. That's basically a translation of are and or is and as, etc., as. Okay, that's the point of this kind of structure. It says we use as and as to show that things are basically the same. Okay, but we also use it in idiomatic expressions. For example, like this one: get as fit as a fiddle. like a violet, of course. Okay, get very, very, very thin. Okay, that's the idea on these kind of activities. I mean, this topic of modifiers. Okay, let's start checking them in the exercises in this moment. Let's go back to the, okay, well, I'm going to show you the answers of this, just as an example. This is how the exercise looks like. You need to read the context, of course, first. In the case for number 2, let's see. You have, for example, Johnny and Lucas are the same height. So your answer with modifiers will look like Johnny is as tall as Lucas. Johnny es tan alto como Lucas. They are the same. So the same, you can also say negative. The water is less polluted than before. El agua está menos contaminada que antes. So the water isn't as polluted as before. El agua no está tan contaminada como antes. That's another way to express comparison. Okay, so let's go back to your workbook. And let's start with number 4 in this case. Let's rewrite the sentence in this moment so that they mean the same. Okay. Well, guys, sorry for the noise. It's out of my hands. They are fixing something exactly out of my house for some reason. I don't know. These people is crazy. But a disaster. So let's start with the first one. In this case, Mr. Maduro, for example, number 1, our climate is hotter than before. So your answer is for that, Mr. But remember, using the adjectives in the box. Okay, no answer. Well, for guys, let's go to Mr. Redland. Our climate is hotter than before. So the answer for that will be as cool as before could be. Thank you, Mark. Let's check. This could be as our climate isn't as cold as before. No es tan frío como era antes. Okay, that's the idea on number 1. Let's check number 2, guys. The Borneo rainforest is smaller than the Amazon rainforest. So number 2 says the Borneo rainforest isn't what? What is the opposite of smaller in this case? Can you tell us the answer in this case, for example? Mr. Sanchez, maybe number 2. Ideas for number 2, in this case, the Borneo rainforest isn't what? No answers, Mr. Sanchez? Okay, Mr. Chang then, number 2, Borneo rainforest isn't?
As large.
As large.
As large as.
As large as the Amazon rainforest. Okay, that's the answer. Thank you. No es tan grande como el bosque, selva amazónica. Number 3, your answer for number 3 in this case would be, and let's ask right now to, it could be a question for Mr. Durango maybe. Your trainers are better than mine. My trainers aren't. What is your answer for number 3, Mr. Durango? Ideas? What about my trainers? Your trainers are in what? If we have the adjective good, mixed transform into better in the sentence number 3, Thank you, Mr. Rellano. As good as yours in this case. Well, of course, my trainers aren't as good as yours. Good answer. Let's go to number 4. Exceed your answer in this case. I'm going to ask it to Ms. Ricardo, maybe. What about number 4? Exercise number 3 is easier than exercise number 4. That's right, Ms. Romero. Thank you. I think that's a correct answer. Thank you, Ms. Cervantes also. Let's see, Ms. Ricardo, idea. Exercise number 3 is easier than exercise number 4. So exercise 3 isn't, good one, Mr. Morante, as difficult as, Mr. Cervantes also says as difficult as, and Mr. Romero also as difficult as. Okay, and that's it. Isn't as difficult as exercise number 4. Thank you. Let's go to let's ask right now, Mr. Cavariana. You know maybe number 5. Sarah and Kema are the same age. So Sarah is, if they are the same age, what happens between these two girls? What adjective do we need to talk about the relation of comparison here? Number 5. Okay, Mr. Cavariano, no answer. So let's see, Ms. Barba, maybe number 5. Sarah and Gemma are the same age. And of course, well, I'm going to give you some help with this. You need the adjective old. So how would you tell this?
Sarah is
Continue, please. Don't worry. Sorry.
Emma.
Yeah. Can you repeat? Sorry, Miss, because I guess you had an internet problem and I couldn't hear you.
Sarah is as old as.
Yeah, that's right. Completely right. Thank you, Miss. Remember, Sarah is as old as Emma. Very good. Thank you. And the last one, 6. Who could tell number 6? Any of you guys? This is an open answer. You can all answer it if you want. So the bracelet and the necklace are the same price. So the bracelet is, and you have as the last adjective, the last option, you have expensive. So what it is? What is the answer, guys, in number 6? The bracelet is, thank you, Ms. Caldon, in the chat, as expensive as a necklace. The same with Ms. Nicastro, expensive as a necklace. Ms. Romero also expensive as a necklace. Okay, so you can check the answer right now. 6. The bracelet is as expensive as a necklace. Okay, I'm going to give you a few seconds before we move to exercise number 2. Okay. And well, let's move to exercise number 2 right here, guys. Number 5. Okay, guys, number 5. This is, and let's see. We're going to complete the dialogues in this moment with the correct comparative form of the adjectives in brackets. But this time we're mixing a little, modifiers, etc. and so on. So let's try to pay attention to this part. Okay, Jacob says, I need printing cartridges, cartuchos de impresión, but they are so expensive. You should buy them online. They are a bit what? See, for example, student who could tell us, it could be for Ms. Diaz maybe. What about number 1? They are a bit what? Give me Diaz, no answers. Well, it seems like you're speaking or something. I don't see you, but Maduro says cheaper, which is right. They are a bit cheaper than in the shops. At least a bit means like a little, like poquito, un poco, of course, barato, más barato que en las tiendas. So number 2, but are the cartridges, and you have as modifier here. So the answer for that is ideas in this case. Let's see in the chat. Pretty good. Thank you, Ms. Cervantes. Good answer. You have what are the cartridges? Be careful, Mr. Rantes, your answer, not so sure if it's correct, because remember, you have a modifier. So you need at the beginning something else. It's not exactly better in this one. We need an adjective without changes. So in this case, it's better if we say something like this. Look, as good as the ones in the shows. So the translation for, so you get better the idea of number 2 would be something like, pero son los cartuchos tan buenos como los de esa tienda. Okay. Next idea on as good as. Let's check now number 3. Ms. Brittany Castro, maybe do you have the idea for number 3? Yes, they are. They are a lot than the others too. And you have this word here. That. So the answer is okay, no answer from Mr. Nicastro. Well, let's ask right now to Mr. Rellano, maybe. What about number 3? They are a lot. Okay, no answer, Mr. Rellano. So let's start with Ms. Gamarra. Well, let me stop here and let's do something. Just give me 1 second, guys. Let me see. Just hold on, guys. I'm fixing something here in my computer. And let's see, okay. Okay, perfect, guys. So, okay, you don't know the answer. Okay, it's correct. Thank you for telling me. So let's start right now here. Let's go back. So someone who could tell me answer number 3. They are a lot environmentally friendly, but you have some comparison here with Dan. So the answer for that is Mr. Zambrano, maybe? What about number 3? More environmental friendly. Not so sure if that's the answer, okay? It's like this. Okay, more environmental friendly. Okay, yes, in fact, it's real. Thank you, Ms. Castro. Sorry, I was wrong. Then the number 4. Who can tell number 4, maybe? Mr. Cantuña, number 4. Your answer for number 4 is, sorry for Mr. Cantuña. Hang on a minute. I have used that website before and it isn't. You have reliable, Mr. Cantuña. So your answer for that is okay, Mr. Cantuña is not answering, so let's start with this. You have put a 0 here, Mr. My apologies, but let's go to back here. Okay, let's check in the chat. As reliable, says Ms. Gamarra, of course. And Mr. Vandersloot says more reliable. Could be. Thank you. And that's it. Let's check as reliable as. Remember, you have the modifier here as. So it's better if we say as reliable as this one. Okay, that's an idea also. Okay, let's check now number 5. Ms. Ordóñez, maybe. What about number 5? Thank you, Ms. Kimberly. Thank you, Mark. What about number 5, Ms. Ordóñez? Okay, no answer from Ms. Ordóñez. So, well, let's check. Let's go back to here. Okay, Ms. Ordóñez got put a 0. I don't see any answers of Ms. Ordóñez here too. So let's go back to the workbook and let's see. That's good. Okay, now you're answering. Well, I'm going to delete your 0. I was wrong. And let's go back here. And of course, it could be easier. This one is very easy, guys, also, as the verb, as it says. It's not as good as because we don't have the word as in here, as the others. So let's check number 6. What about number 6? Easier, Ms. Yamada says easier, and Ms. Kimberly says faster. It's a lot faster. It's a comparison. Thank you, Mr. Cariana. That's good. What about number 7? Don't do that. Recycling. Recycling is much what? For example, better. Okay, Ms. Kimberly says better. Ms. Castro says better. Ms. Arco says better, which I think is correct. Also, we have better. It's much better. Ms. Lucas also says better. Better than throwing them away. Good. Let's check now number 8. I'm definitely not as you. And now you have here a modifier with us. Okay, Ms. Cervantes, for example, can you tell us what about number 8? Let's wait for Ms. Cervantes' answer. Thank you, Ms. Romero. Thank you, Mark. As environmentally friendly. And then you have as you. Perfect. Thank you, Ms. Cervantes. Good. As environmentally friendly as you. Okay, you can copy these answers. I'm going to give you a few seconds so you can copy this information, okay? And that's all, guys. Let's leave this page. Let's go to the last exercise in number 6. Exercise number 6 says, write sentences comparing you and a relative. So you need to use not as and the modifiers a bit and a lot. Okay, that's what you are going to do in this moment. We're going to transform this exercise and we're going to do it in your, just give me 1 second, in your classrooms. This moment, we're going to do it as a classwork right now, okay? So we can start checking this. Resolve this. And well, let's transform this into a question. Remember, it says, write 5 sentences using comparatives. Okay. Write 5 comparisons using as, and modifiers bit and a lot. Okay. Okay. A bit and a lot. You get the idea. Well, stop this here and well, let's give you, this is for today, August 5, and we'll get, let's give you some time for this, maybe 10, sorry, just 5 sentences. So you have around 10 minutes from this point, okay? So here we go. It's your turn to write, guys, those 5 sentences. And you can start. You have around 10 minutes, 5 sentences, 2 minutes each. And that's all for today. Okay, you can start in this moment. Remember, workbook pages 28 and 29 were the last pages, the last 2 pages of the vocabulary, the reading and the vocabulary part, okay? I've seen most students have already finished them, but there are still 10 students who have not. So please don't forget to send them as soon as possible. And here's the activity, okay? You have 10 minutes. I'm going to wait here for your answers until we finish this class hour, okay? Remember, we are done with page number 30, okay? You can start writing your ideas. You can use the, well, book ideas, but if you're going to use book ideas, you can, as I told you, make some variations of them, okay? Use different adjectives or different nouns or things like that, okay? Yes, it could be not as and as, no problems at all. Yeah, me rewrite this because it's bad. Write 5 sentences comparing comparison sentences using as and as, okay, etc. So that's it, okay. Bit and a lot, yeah, in some of them, not all of them, just 1 or 2. You want to add in a sentence a bit, and the other one you want to add a lot. That is also acceptable. Remember, it could be as, okay, let me change the title here, using as and as, or not, not as.
Mister, como es 5 cada una, o puede ser alternando, si una con as y la otra con.
Yes, it could be anything. It could be like one with as, the other with as and as not as and as, sorry. So, but the idea is that you can vary, okay? Some of them with a modifier, some others don't. It's up to you, but you have to include, what I want you is to include the modifier, in this case, as, okay? Okay, guys, well, we are about to finish. We still have like 10 minutes left. Okay, you could say that sentence, okay? I'm going to put it in the chat before you send it, okay? Just give me 1 second, please. This will look like, you can say, for example, something like that. Okay, guys, let's wait for your activities in this moment. Remember, we still have some time before we finish. Okay, remember, we still have time. This should be in the end better. So, for example, I'm going to make a variation of your sentence. Shoes are okay, good answers, Ms. Ricardo. The world's biggest ball is as big as a small elephant. To be. They didn't play it as well as they usually do. We got here as fast as we could. They tried to give them as much freedom as they can, and they didn't play it as well as they usually do. Acceptable. Thank you. Well, in that sentence means that you're telling me in the chat, I don't think you can include a lot or bit. Those sentences are.
Mr. Josué, buenas tardes.
Bien.
Mr. Josué.
Sí, sí, le escucho.
Buenas tardes. Un minutito para los jóvenes. Y, acabo de enviar una hoja de trabajo a Classroom que por favor que descarguen para poder trabajar el día de mañana. Yo pediré a algún maestro que me dé una horita y podemos trabajar. Es otra prueba psicológica, por favor. Revisen Classroom, descarguen para trabajar mañana. Gracias, mister.
Sí, no se preocupe, miss. Okay. Okay, I was correcting a sentence, Miss Brittany. Remember, she has a pink trainer as new as Marta's. Okay, because you're talking about her property. See, this sentence would look like this. Okay, let me rewrite it. Okay, okay, don't worry, miss. It's okay. And let's see, we have more answers here. Okay, Mr. Sanchez, I will run as long as possible. Good one. You will play as long as you will play as low as you can. Okay. I will eat. I will not eat. It's great if you say something like I will not eat as fast as fast as I can. Maybe you're as tall as me. he will complete as fast as he can. Good. Miss Vera says this place isn't as cool as the other one. These houses aren't as huge as her houses or as theirs. You could replace their houses so you avoid sometimes repetition. You could say something like his houses aren't as huge as theirs, but it's acceptable. There's no problem. That lake is a bit nicer than the other. Good. My computer isn't as older as yours. This fruit is a lot delicious than that cake. Good. Thank you, Miss. Let's start grading your participation, guys. Okay, Miss Ron says he cooks a bit salad. No, let me correct your sentence in the chat, Miss. He cooks. You shouldn't include there a bit. He cooks a bit as salad bakes. Very few just he could as because salad is not an adjective. So he cooks a bit, or he cooks as, I suppose, as good as, Jeremy, etc. Okay, that could be the idea because salad is not an adjective, so you should not include it between the modifiers. Miss Reynolds, see, it's not as heavy as I thought it could be. Actually, good. Leah hasn't grown as tall as Alexander yet. She's not singing as loud as she can. They didn't play as well as they usually do. The world's biggest ball is small is an elephant, guys. Do not forget, do not take all the answers out of the internet. I already saw this answered from one of your partners right here. So make variations, guys. It's my recommendation for you. Remember, I can't realize when you have taken them. In this case, we have, for example, here, same answer from Ms. Bacaro right here. Okay, guys, don't forget this next time to make variations or paraphrase the answers of the internet. See, Ms. Rada, thank you. Okay, well, see, Ms. Ordóñez, Ken is as bit as peaceful as Kermit. Okay, Kermit, it's a good name. I don't have an idea now. Your idea, you could use that idea, you know, he cooked as good as Jeremy. Or he cooks, for example, he cooks as delicious as Jeremy. Okay, he cooks as fast as, etc. The idea is that between as and as, those modifiers include an adjective. That's the point on these kind of sentences. Mikey eats as a lot as Danny. Not sure. It's a lot as fast as slow, etc. as Danny. Paul is a little bit as exactly. Cookie Run is a lot as, you know, Kelly is a bit as nervous as they look. I don't know, those names sounds kind of exotic, but well, is what it says. You're as tall as your brother. My mom is a lot more organized, and so on. These dogs are a bit more energetic. She's amazing her cousin. What a bit busy right now. Ask someone else for help. Okay, thank you. To send those activities, please, guys. I insist. I really don't want to start giving you zeros, but remember, if you're going to take answers out of the internet, paraphrase them. It's the last time I tell you. So thank you so much, guys. Well, that's all for now, and we'll see you. Yeah, Sophie is, don't forget me, Brittany. Sophie is as lazy as James. That's an acceptable idea. Okay. And let's see, or the one that I was telling you. He cooks as good as delicious as Jeremy. Those are good too. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Well, have a good morning and well, good afternoon, and see you tomorrow. Goodbye.